In this episode, we define what makes execution truly excellent and how organizations can design for it through the invisible execution layer and executional intelligence. Hi, I'm Jennifer Kenny. I'm the best-selling author of The Innovation Mindset and of the award-winning book 100% Capacity. I work with technical and scientific teams in complex technical environments looking to pull off really successful projects. Part of the work that I do is introducing them to the execution layer and helping them understand how to build executional intelligence in order to be able to bring powerful innovations to market. Executional intelligence, let me tell you what it's not first. It's not about doing tasks right or getting it right the first time. It's not about endless KPIs and OKRs, and it's certainly not about project completion without impact. Executional fluency or executional intelligence, executional understanding is where our day-to-day interactions directly impact project outcomes, team satisfaction, and they do it reliably and sustainably. Executional excellence is the consistent ability to be able to coordinate with clarity, deliver on time, adapt with agility, and repair trust without blame. Let me talk about those briefly for a moment. Right now, when we are doing projects and we manage projects right down to the micro task level, what we're looking to do is we're looking to get visibility into what I refer to as the execution layer. Think about project plans and task tracking and task management as being in the operational layer, the visible layer of an organization. In that visible layer, you'll have strategy documents, you'll have team meetings, you'll have Slack channels, you'll have Teams channels, you'll have project plans, you'll have all of the things that we use to try and help us manage and orchestrate our organizations. One of the things that we miss when we're doing that is we miss a deep understanding of what actually is execution between human beings. And I think that this is becoming even more important. AI is going to accelerate a lot of what it is that we're capable of doing. Our projects are going to start moving faster and faster. Our ability to be able to manage them needs to move from managing the tip of the iceberg, the 10% that we now understand and have visibility into, to use that to try and manage the 90% that lies underneath it. If we don't understand that 90% differently than how we understand it today, which is we mostly manage it through micro tasks and command and control, if we can't understand that differently, we're setting ourselves up for failure when it comes to executional excellence. Let's talk about coordinating with clarity. As we start thinking about how do we coordinate with clarity, and the reason why I'm using clarity is many times we are assigning tasks and we're dumping stuff over the wall to somebody else. I can be assigned a task without even being in the room. I can be assigned a task without even being on a meeting. There's a website that I'm a particular fan of, and excuse my language ahead of time, but the website is called I Hate Jira. And the interesting thing about the website is it's for the people who recognize that they are being micromanaged through task management. And they come in there, it's a fairly highly trafficked website, and it is people coming in and going, I can't operate in this type of environment. What I've seen is if we start managing people based on tasks, we are stripping away context. We are stripping away the ability to be able to create clarity. We are stripping away purpose, we are stripping away meaning, and we are simply assigning tasks as if they were cogs on the floor of a factory 100 years ago. What happens when you start looking at the execution layer as being the commitments we make to each other, the conversations we have with each other, the promises we make to each other, the delivery we do for each other, what you see is people are actually creating intelligence together. They're not stripping it away, they're creating context, they're creating meaning, they're creating intelligence. So coordinating with clarity is a practice and a language with very clear distinctions that allow people to be able to bring a much higher level of intelligence to the work that they do and be able to bring their own unique perspective and intelligence to the work as well. Consistent ability to be able to deliver on time. The way that we work in projects today does not allow for an awful lot of negotiation. You're either saying yes or you're off the team. One of the things that we have worked with people to do is to learn how to be able to make a real commitment. Now, if I'm not allowed to say no, I can't make a real commitment. In the absence of making a real commitment, I'm going to smile and put something down on a checklist. That's where our invisible work happens. And that's where projects will erode and fail if we don't have clarity and understanding around that. Our ability to be able to deliver on time is based on our ability to be able to orchestrate the networks of conversations and the networks of commitments, the networks of promises that are happening across a project. If we don't understand that, we don't have visibility into that, that doesn't make sense to us, we are not able to account for a huge percentage of the work that gets done or not done on a project. Human beings are incredibly adaptable, and we have tried to capture some of that with some of the agile approaches that we use. But what we've missed in the agile approaches is we've missed the fact that human beings are the ones who do the handshake, who make the commitment to each other. It's not another management and transparency tool. What we're really looking to do with agility is recognize the agility comes from us. The agility lies in our ability to be able to contextualize and make sense of things, in our willingness to offer value to other people, our willingness to be able to deliver value for others, and our absolute commitment to be able to make a contribution to society, to the world, to the projects that we work on. Something that we can put our name on and be proud of. So in the absence of understanding human agility, what we're doing is we're missing out on the fact that our agility shows up in our ability to be able to make promises and to change and shift those promises as needed over time. If we micromanage down at the tiny task level, we're stripping people away of that capability, and we're putting ourselves in a position where we're never going to achieve a level of executional excellence. I've talked about breakdowns in a number of other videos, mistakes that people make, stuff that goes wrong, the wheels coming off the bus. And what I've seen consistently is they happen all the time. No matter how great we are, they still happen. Breakdowns happen, mistakes happen, people do silly things, all of us do silly things. I'm sure you've done silly things, I've done silly things. Shit happens. If we can recognize that and accept that, we can actually put ourselves in a position to look not at that, but look at how quickly we can recover from it. So looking at our ability to repair trust without blame, recognizing that trust is an asset in a project, that AI can actually help us see that, visualize that, manage that, build that, treat it as an asset for a project. Executional excellence calls us to be able to understand that, manage that, and take advantage of that and leverage that for the success of our projects. Let me talk to you about executional excellence in terms of the context of 4 capabilities of highly functioning, high executing teams. They are executionally excellent because they detect early. So they see the early warning signs of breakdowns and they head them off at the pass, and they head them off without blame, without shame. They just function in terms of breakdown happened, let's deal with it, let's move on. They clarify. They have explicit agreements about who's doing what and what value is going to get delivered by whom. And they don't have that just at high levels. That's not just held at the project lead level. That's held the whole way through the entire organization, because they've taken the time to build executional intelligence as a capability and as a capacity across the org. They repair fast. So they do constructive breakdown handling. They don't look to do diagnosis that will assign blame and shame and that will undermine people's ability to be able to be resilient. If you're working on a project in today's environments where things are moving so fast, if you cannot cultivate resilience in your team, you're going to undermine your success. And they also take ownership. Now, we talk about accountability a lot and we talk about taking ownership, but taking ownership at I am the customer for ensuring that what my performer is doing is going to ensure that the project is successful and that they are successful and that I am satisfied. So handling those customer performer roles requires a level of self-awareness and a level of understanding of commitment that most teams don't necessarily have today. That is an intelligence that absolutely can be built. If you're interested in executional excellence and you find this concept of executional intelligence and the execution layer as being the 90% that we're trying to manage with the 10% on the top that we can see, that we can all share and talk about at the moment, and we want to build out our executional intelligence so that we can begin to see, talk about, design and manage the 90% underneath, I have a gift for you, which is a white paper which talks about this concept, talks about the building blocks of the concept. Hopefully will begin to get you on the path of thinking about your own executional intelligence and understanding the execution layer around you and within your organization. It's available on my website. It's www.jenniferkenny.com/execution. There's a link in the comments below. You can also find it on the website under the free resources. I really encourage you to start thinking about executional intelligence as something that can give you an enormous leadership boost and something that can really enhance your team's ability to be able to do amazing work. As you embark on this journey, if this is something that's of interest to you, I've done 19 other videos on the topic. Hopefully they'll be helpful for you. But as you embark on the journey, let me know how it's going for you. Let me know if this was valuable for you, and let me know how I can support you in the process. I wish you the very best of luck. This is an invaluable competence to be able to build at any stage in your career. Good luck and take care.